All right, folks, you are live with Dr. Chapa. Good evening. Whoa, what a day. And off to the races we are. We are on our way, onward, upward, goodward, Godward in so many ways. I'm just looking around thinking to myself, how did we get here? It is already parasite hunting time, and it is just here. I can't believe it. And so I get excited about parasite hunting time, and I want to encourage you guys to be excited about parasite hunting time because this is an opportunity to exponentially kill off bugs, trash, waste, debris out of your body astronomically. But that's not the purpose of tonight's talk. So it isn't just about parasites. We're going to be talking about headaches. We're going to be talking about brain fog. We're going to be talking about ADD, learning disorders. We're going to be talking about root cause fatigue, like why your body is failing you in so many ways and you're settling for symptom patterns that you were not genetically born with. So I am Dr. Aaron Chapa. This is the Dr. Chapa Wellness Show, and you are live with Dr. Chapa, I like to say. And here's the deal. You are here to learn and grow, and I want to teach you and be a part of the wellness journey with you. That's why I do these classes. That's what I've been doing for the last several months, and why I do podcasts and have a podcast show, because people want to know. People want to know, what is this guy about? Like, what is it like being in his world? And I hope that when people walk away from my office, they feel blessed. They feel hopeful. They feel inspired to make changes. I believe the change agent, me, the doc, needs to be the spark that inspires you to go and do what God's called you to do. And we all can get better working together, serving together. So I'm just here to encourage you. And I want you to share the show with your friends, family, and loved ones. Go to drchopawellness.com. There's all kinds of great tools there. We've got our detox in a box. And I want you to know that I believe in detox. If you're not detoxing in the 21st century, you're missing a huge piece of your healthcare plan. So a part of me teaching this stuff is also sharing with you ideas on how you can do our Nourish and Renew program or our detox in a box to get vitality, to get energy, to get your health back. And that's what I want for you and your family, is for you to be the best version of you possible, because when you are your best, guess what? The world can experience who you were truly meant to be. And I think that that is this tragedy that people are missing out on that. So we're going to be talking about the gut and how it affects so many aspects of our health today. And so I was just thinking this morning when I saw the full moon in the sky, and I realized parasite hunting season's upon us, and it's time. The gut is the ecosystem that we need to manage, that we need to restore, that we need to make sure we don't treat like just a simple machine. You want to take the ecosystem of your digestive tract to new heights and to new levels each and every day so that it performs its best, so that you can live your best. And so when I look at the body and I evaluate health and wellness, whether a person comes in with an autoimmune condition or whether a person comes in with a allergy, whether they have, learning disabilities, the gut is always first and foremost my number one focal point. There are 10 times more microbial activity in your digestive tract than there is in your brain. The gut microbiome is 100 trillion organisms rich. That's more genes than in the human genome. Your gut talks to your brain 24/7. Fascinating. 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut, lives in your gut. So when you fix the gut, you essentially impact every axis of health you have. You want a stronger metabolism? Get a better gut. You want a stronger immune system? Get a better gut. If you want a better cardiovascular system, improve the gut. Your body needs the digestive tract to thrive and to function. You cannot thrive well. You will survive, but you cannot thrive well if the gut is inflamed and irritated and bogged down. Your gut is affected by three key things. Overuse antibiotics, which right now, just today, I've seen 3 different types of strep infections. Strep throat so bad that they had like razor blades in their throat. Lymph nodes swole up the size of ping pong balls. and that bloody type of activity in the tonsillar area. And number one and foremost, would you think I'm going to just go and treat that? No way. We don't treat, cure, diagnose anything. What do? We help mom and dad understand what they need to do to turn the body into a healing system and get the immune system operating and activating at high performance rates of speed to get these infections under control. But if you are reaching for antibiotics as a first line of defense, your gut immune system completely is going to be trashed for up to 7 years, some people predict. 1 year, some people predict. Why is it such a long slot? Is because some people tested have been on rounds and rounds and rounds of antibiotics. So one round exponentially affects them longer than somebody that hasn't been on a lot of rounds of antibiotics. But the second thing that destroys the gut microbiome is sugar. Overindulgences in sugar. If you're eating a cookie, if you're eating drinking a soda every day at mid-afternoon to get through that 1 to 3 crash, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to paralyze your immune system for up to, get this, 8 hours. That's paralyzed. How do I say that? Could you imagine being paralyzed? No, you couldn't. But your immune system is being paralyzed when you eat just a cookie and a Coke. And that's insane. So why would you do that? Well, because it tastes good, Dr. Chapa. Listen, nothing below your taste buds wants the sugar. Now, these bad bugs, these opportunistic staphylococcal, streptococcal type bugs want you to eat those things, but nothing below your taste buds that are of value and service to your body as a whole want those things. And then the third thing that really wrecks your gut lining and messes up your immune system and causes your body to begin to denature and fall apart is stress. And so I hate that word because it's so like everybody's dealing with stress today. We got mental stress. We're constantly rationalizing with the complexities of today's modern information world. And how do we navigate this? I mean, seriously. And when we look at stress, we see that stress has a physical component. You could be just deprived of sleep. That could create a layer of stress. You could be overworked. That could be a layer of stress. But all this stress has something in common. It causes a surge in adrenaline, a surge in epinephrine, a surge in cortisol that disrupts your gut microbiome. So it's important that you understand that if your gut is affected at the immunological level, you can't ward off and fight off infections, but worse, you can't impact the axes of health, metabolism, mental clarity. You can't focus or have a good cardiovascular system or a detox system. So we have to recognize that the gut-brain axis is key. Very fascinating. A leaky gut can lead to brain dysfunction. What is a leaky gut? Literally, you have these staples that line the gut lining, and you are a tube from mouth to back end, 28 feet. And so if there is disruption in what goes through the tube and penetrates across the lining inappropriately into the blood supply, it creates inflammation. That inflammation left unchecked causes the body to break down and causes your body to be basically distracted from outflow and vitality, and your body goes internally and tries to figure out how to fix itself, and you start losing energy. Worse is when leaky gut happens, you have these little staples that hold the cells together. And when those cells together are lined up nice and neat across the 28 feet of your intestinal tract, you produce 3 million more neurotransmitters, brain chemicals in your digestive tract than you do in your brain, than you have in your brain. So if you have brain issues or headaches, it's an indication that there's an imbalance in the gut microbiome. Leaky gut is the tearing apart of those cells and penetration where things that are undigested go across into the blood supply, creating inflammation. I literally just got a message and somebody was just asking the question, can parasites detox cause vomiting and lingering nausea? Well, of course it can. That is absolute. And so if you're on a parasite cleanse, by the way, you are changing the gut lining, and you're changing how your body gut balance is working, and you're going to get muscle contractions that are going to cause nausea. They're going to cause potential vomiting, but that is not necessarily means that it's a bad thing. It obviously means that your body's trying to get rid of something. That's a good thing, and that's what we want to see happen. These microbes, though, if you don't get them out, they can tear through that lining, creating leaky gut, and they basically have full reign into and out of your system. And that is where the gut-brain disconnect begins to have an issue. So we have to be very strategic on how we approach leaky gut and how we support the body. So the question now is, well, what would I do to fix that? Of course, I have products to help that. INF Fighter, it's Golden Seal, Chaparral, Echinacea, or Kid Cold, Elderberry, Ginger, and Echinacea, or Chamomile, Marshmallow, all great ideas to soothe the gut lining. And so I think that would be a good tool to help support the gut lining is these different herbals whenever you're feeling these uncomfortable symptoms. Okay, so let's keep trucking here. Great question, by the way. Very excited. We've got the gut-brain connection. I was mentioning earlier that you have 3 million more neurotransmitters in your digestive tract than you do in your brain. What does that mean to you? Well, serotonin is your joyful, satisfaction, content hormone, where GABA is your brakes so that you can manage the day. Dopamine is that pleasure hormone that allows you to, just feel motivated to get through the day. And when there's a disruption in gut-brain axis, your mood is affected. The short chain fatty acid fear that fats are bad. I was just putting 5 people a day on fish oils because their omega levels are low and their inflammatory rates are high and their brain function is down, and they all tested for essential fatty acids. What's happening? Well, one, they're not taking their omega force every day. Shop.justlivewell.com. You can get some omega force that is going to be rich in omega 3s and 9s that will heal every tissue, cell, organ, gland in the body in a flash. Brighter skin, better skin, more radiant, flowy hair as a side benefit, but more importantly, brain benefits for maximizing neurotransmitter production in the gut lining. If I can get the gut healthy, I can get the brain healthy every time. But conditions that are tied to gut imbalances are extreme, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. But what if it's not extreme? What if it's brain fog? What if it's ADD, like autism spectrum disorders? What if that's the extreme? Maybe it's just a headache, or maybe it's just you don't see clearly, even in how your vision is working. You don't hear clearly. You can't process information. One of the patients came in today, and I used a product from Orthomolecular called Copacom, because I can use the heparazine A to increase processing speed, but I can use the GABA to slow down and pump the brakes so that we can actually hear. That's very fascinating, right? So it doesn't have to be extreme, but understand when the gut-brain axis is broken because of too many antibiotics, too many steroids, too much stress, too much sugar, you are going to have mood disorders, depression, anxiety, maybe not schizophrenia, but maybe schizophrenia, right? Maybe not bipolar, or maybe you are bipolar, right? This isn't like to judge you or name you. I did hear something really cool I'd have to say is this morning, the devil knows who you are, but he calls you by your sin name. He calls you anxious. He calls you depressed. Whereas when God calls you, he knows your sin, but he calls you by who you are in Christ. Isn't that a good thing? So you are the righteousness of God. You are blessed and highly favored. You're blessed going in, blessed going out. A little cool thought that came across my, my prayer time this morning, and I really have never heard that before. Going back to, these are just names, and every one of these names has to submit to the Word of God. They have to submit to Christ the King. He's defeated every one of these. So know that these are not conditions that I want you labeling yourself. I talked to this one patient today and I said, are you labeled and identifying being sick day in and day out? Because the reality is you're too young to be sick. You're too young to be this broken. You're too young to be on this many medications. You're too young to have this many diagnoses. Listen, you don't have to stay in the place that you're in, but it all starts in the gut. We found parasites, we found yeast, we found bacteria all in her gut that are overgrown. So she is overrun. And of course, she's got multiple polypharma, that's lots of medications, multiple polydiagnostics, multiple diagnoses, and weird tests, lots and lots of weird tests. They're looking for the obscure, but they need to go come up and go after the gut-brain axis just to get the inflammation down so we can get a clearer picture of what's actually happening in this person's body. Okay, so the gut microbiome sets you up for success. And if it is broken, dysfunctional because of sugar, because of stress, or because of overuse of medications, the gut-brain axis, your neurotransmitters, and your mood are going to be altered. Okay, so this is powerful stuff to appreciate that we are looking at it. Now, when it looks at we look at the gut, makes 90% of serotonin, which again, the microbiome, if it is maximizing serotonin, do you know what you're going to feel? Joy, unspeakable. Joy is Jesus on you. You're going to feel really alive and really great if you have healthy amounts of serotonin. Now, if you are on one course of antibiotics, I just want to say it again. One round of antibiotics can destroy your gut lining for up to 7 years. Not just 1 year, not just 6 months, not just 30 days. You have to support the body regularly when these tissues are being affected. So I want to really press you and challenge you to step up to the plate and take better care of your health by taking better care of your digestive tract. If you want a healthy life, you got to have a strong gut lining. The toxic burden factor, okay? So we want to do an analysis of how the body's toxic rate is. Well, in our office, we do this really cool functional index metabolic test. And when you come in, I will run this on everybody because it will help me show you you're toxic. It'll help me show you need detox. It'll help me show you liver or gallbladder dysfunction. It'll help me show you the burden of inflammation that you're carrying. And this is just one piece of the pie. Did you know that your gut lining is being affected by what's called forever chemicals, PFAs or phthalates? These are all what we call endocrine disruptors. They cause fertility to collapse. They cause hormone chaos. When your hormones are up and down like a roller coaster, you see people having migraines and headaches often, and it all stems from the gut. You see people that have endocrine disruption, they can't manage their mood. They can't handle stresses. And this is a major player in why people's brain isn't working like they want it to in their day-to-day activity, which is why when it comes to toxicity, we do the detox in a box. The detox in a box allows us to clean up your diet, get rid of the phthalates, get rid of more than just those, but the MSG and the 4 deadly food additives, the high fructose corn syrup, or the artificial sugars that people are consuming, and these partially hydrogenated oils that people are getting into, what I call the 4 deadly brain disruptors. And when you get these things under control, you will start to see your body performing better. So these are just some of the toxic burdens that are in everything. Now, interesting, these forever chemicals are in your pots and pans. They're in plastics. They're on thermal paper. They're everywhere. They're in body washes. They're in many body care products that you're rubbing on your skin day in and day out. And this is essentially disrupting the microflora of your skin or your mucous membranes, and of course your GI tract at some level, because the cells are having to divide and conquer to put out fires all over the body. So we want to make sure that we strengthen you and build you up doing toxic burden, clearing. And we've got to teach you where these chemicals are coming from. You will learn that in our Detox in a Box program. It's a course that you can take, and we'll show you how in your house right now, you probably have good smelling things plugged into your house. It smells good, but it's poisoning you. Or you use poisonous body care products. And so toxins don't just sit in the gut. They circulate around. They come in through your skin. They come in under your armpits. They come in through your hair. They are put in your toothpaste. It is, of course, in your food and water, and they inflame your brain, your nervous system, if they can get across that lining. And when you have antibiotic use, when you have stress, when you have too much sugar, your body is deteriorating faster and faster, and these things are able to get across the membranes. So this shows up as headaches, fatigue, brain fog, learning difficulties, even for the adult, not just for kids. So you could be on a new job and you're struggling to learn and devise a plan moving forward on how you're going to get your health right. So please understand that if you have any of these symptoms, like headaches in the base of the skull, that is a classic GI issue. If you are fatigued during more in the morning than when you went to bed, that is gut is clogged up and your liver cannot process what it was trying to detox well last night. Your liver is not dumb. It's not going to dump trash into an already toxic bowel. So it actually slows down, stores toxins in the brain. Now you've got brain fog and headaches again. But of course, now it's like carrying around a 50-pound kettlebell and wondering why you're tired all day. You wake up more tired in the morning than when you went to bed. You are essentially saying your body's not detoxing effectively or efficiently, and you've got to get this part under control so that your body will thrive again and get your body sleeping in a deep sleep state. This is important, okay? So I always recommend 2 detoxes a year, 21 days at a time, or 4 detoxes a year, 10 days at a time, to get you close to that 40-day mark. And when you take care of your body that way, you're turning your gut lining into a vacuum where 4 things typically happen. You digest your food, you absorb food, you manufacture nutrients, and you excrete trash, waste, and debris. That's a lot of activity for your gut lining to be dealing with. So it is paramount that you work on strengthen your gut lining. And then, of course, if your gut lining is irritated and irritable, you're not making those neurotransmitters or those B vitamins for ATP production, guess what's going to happen? Then you can't think well and you can't process well and you have learning difficulties. So in kids, it can impair focus and learning, and adults, I would say, reoccurring infections and more medications is simply not the answer, but seems to be the answer people are reaching for. So practical reset principles. Oh, baby. Let's reset you and let's test you. Again, I have a test in the office that I can show you you're inflamed. I can show you your detox pathways are clogged up. I can show you that your body is holding onto toxins and it can't get rid of them and it's making you sick. So essentially you're circulating poisons all day long, all night long, which is why you're hot at night. You're having dreams and nightmares at night. So you can rebuild your microbiome at any age. I really want you to get this. I don't care how many medications you've been on, steroids you've been on. We're going to go after it and trust that your body has been designed to heal. We just got to stop doing the practices that got us in the sick mode and get us into the practice of good, healthy living. Okay, this is great news. So practical reset principles. You guys know that I have a detox program. It's very encompassing. My Nourish and Renew program, loaded with cool data. And so I really want you to grab those and take advantage of what you could learn going through this process. But 3 days to change the microbiome. Get more fiber, eat less sugar, eat more clean foods, colorful foods. And again, avoid the junk foods and incorporate more real foods with no label. Think about it. The foods in this picture don't have a label, do they? You shouldn't be able to calculate the amount of nutrients in a tomato because it's grown in good soil. Each tomato is going to be uniquely different. Or the salad and or the chicken, the beef, the lamb, the eggs, the turkey, the shrimp, the fish that you're consuming. Or if you like fermented foods, great for re-inoculating gut microbiome and challenging the gut microbiome to get different diversities of flora. I was at a seminar this weekend and they were talking about the gut microbiome and that there are flora species that have been seemingly forever lost because we're not eating a diversified diet, which I don't know that I 100% agree with anymore now that I've been carnivore for so long, but the animals aren't eating a diversified diet either, which they are designed to be eating a lot of these grasses and stuff. So it's very fascinating. But the coolest thing about this statement that I found is I've been teaching people for years that there is a 3-day window of inflammation when you eat dairy products, for example, and you have an allergy to it, or wheat products, or sugar products. Things can affect you for 72 hours that you consumed, and you have no idea that it's challenging the gut health and your overall outflow and external environments at work, social arenas. Like, how many times do you have a headache and you can't go out because you don't feel good? Or how many times are you sleeping in because you can't get out of bed in the morning? What if it was something that you were consuming? Of course, this is what I'm trying to get across to you. So you cannot just look at food and not think about what did you eat 3 days ago. Too often people tell me they ate last night and had a bowel movement today, and it's the same stuff they pooped out last night. Most people have an 18 to 27 hour plus window of transit time. Now, that's not necessarily ideal. The higher, the longer could potentially be fermenting in your gut and causing all kinds of heartache and pain in your digestive tract. But at the end of the day, we got to be paying attention to if you're eating inflammatory foods like wheat, dairy, corn, soy, the most genetically engineered foods on the planet today, then you are essentially needing to look at the gut lining. We have to look at the gut lining and appreciate that what you ate 3 days ago could be causing your headaches today, your hormone issues today. And so I want to really challenge you to learn to look back in time and see how your body is performing. And that would help you appreciate that the symptoms you're having right now may be from 3 days ago. So long-winded thought, but I just wanted to share that because people don't realize how hard this food allergy thing is. Okay, so I was at a seminar one time, and the doctor got up and said his brother-in-law was a pharmacist. And he told his brother-in-law, my friend, the functional medicine acupuncturist, hey, I found something that we actually agree on, doc. And he says, really? What's that? Because apparently in the healthcare arena, they don't agree on anything, not even a little bit. Well, they got to talking, and he says, I make pharmaceuticals day in and day out. I am proud of the drugs that I'm making day in and day out. And I found a drug I wouldn't even take. And he says, oh, what is that? Antibiotics. Why? Overused. And the bugs that you're trying to defeat have already become resistant to most of the antibiotics on the planet that we're using today. We need to strengthen our own vitality system. We need to strengthen and clean out our body through a detox program. We need to, realign ourselves with how God designed us so that we can perform our best day in and day out. This would maximize how we perform and what we can do to live better, be better, stay better, day in and day out. So the detox program has been around for 20 years for me, and it's been around longer than that for others that have been doing this work longer. But essentially, it's designed to bind up trash, remineralize you, hydrate your cells, open up your elimination pathways, and watch your body perform astronomically better. So just go to drchapawellness.com and get your detox in a box today. It would be awesome for you to knock that out before we get into the holiday season. And this is a great time to do it. So we see that people do that all the time. So go to drchapawellness.com, detox in a box, and order yours today. You'll get the courses, you'll get the supplements, you'll get the guides on how to do it. And we got a lot of great tools and resources to help you, feel good in that program. Now, faith, food, fitness, focus, holistic healing, really, all that comes when you have a healthy gut. You think better, you feel better, you perform better, you handle life better whenever your gut is healthy. When you want to ward off ails, because most people are spending their whole front half of life chasing money and they lose their health. They spend more than their money in the back end of their life trying to attain their health, and they miss the mark. And they also find that they're missing their calling. And so if you are suffering with headaches, If you're suffering with brain fog, ADD, ADHD, fatigue, know that your gut immune system is a problem. Your gut mucous membranes are dried up. Your body is toxic and full of trash, and it's clogging up the lines, and your body cannot get past the burdens that it's dealing with day in and day out in order to give you the life that you've always wanted. So you cannot outsource your health any longer. You have to educate yourself. You have to equip yourself. You have to empower yourself to go onward, upward, goodward, and Godward. Your body is an ecosystem, not a machine. Take small, consistent steps day in and day out. Look at, different community outreaches, whether they're farmers markets. Look for detox programs like mine online that will help you stay in alignment. Like when people ask me, hey, what happens if I feel nauseous? What happens if I have diarrhea? Is that a bad thing? What if I miss a dose? Will it cause this? I had that conversation today. They were worried if they didn't take their parasite protocol that the parasites were going to overrun them and come back with a vengeance. And no, it's just slower detox processes. But your body, remember, is designed to get rid of burdens and get rid of waste, trash, and debris that's not designed to be there. And that's a great thought. Your body should be handling most of this stuff on its own. But if you find yourself continually spinning your wheels, it's because you're probably eating things you shouldn't be eating that's tearing down your gut. You have had multiple rounds of antibiotics that you haven't recovered from fully, or you're stressed out and your body cannot manage life's rhythms any longer as it once could. So let this just be a reminder. It's your life, your health, your choice. You can do this. So let's start the reset process together. When you heal the gut, your whole body follows. I think that is a really cool thought. What if we all did a detox at the same time? How much more would we be able to support one another and respect one another and appreciate one another? Because when you say no to the junk food and the sabotaging foods that are inflaming you, you become more merciful, you become more gracious, you become more kind, you become more joyful. You're more pleasant to be around. And people go, there's no way I'd feel good on a detox. I'm telling you, people come back to me all the time. They say, can I just live on this detox? Because I feel so good. I haven't felt like this in 20 years. And I've lost weight and I feel great and I'm not inflamed and my head doesn't hurt anymore. I'm not taking Tylenols and over-the-counter pain medications when my period comes, or I'm not dealing with blood pressure like I used to. I sleep deeper. I mean, really, these are the things that people tell me and have told me for years. So I really want to challenge you, as we go through the detox season, as we get ready, I call it the retox season, people are going to be getting sicker through the holidays, and it's because their bowels are slow. It's because their immune system's weak. It's because their gut is irritated, and we can help them live a better quality life. If you like this information, please follow us, like us, react to the stuff that we put out. We are, doing everything we can do to help you feel your best and perform your best day in and day out. I get excited about helping people perform better, live better, be better day in and day out. So be a part of the things that we have out there for y'all, because you guys matter. This is all for you. So I just want to say thank you. I'm excited to be a part of your world every way and any way that I can. And every week, I go to these seminars, I come back, try to bring you some new data. Really and truly, guys, take care of your gut. Really, guys, take care of your diet. Get some rest, hydrate well, think and pray well. And guess what? Together, we will all go onward, upward, goodward, and Godward. Hope this message finds you well. If you have questions, comments, let's ask away. But if not, see you next week, 7 p.m. God bless you.